Welcome to Daily Bible Devotions. This whole week we're going to talk about miracles. Now, if you remember in your history, in the days before mass communications, when all long distance messages were sent by hand, a king would place his seal, usually in the form of a ring, on his message. So there will be a wax put on a letter that would seal the message, and then the king's ring would be pressed on the wax, and then it would impress there the seal of the king. This seal would be assigned to the recipient of the message, that the message was authentic, that it in fact came from the king and not from someone else just posing as the king. And because this seal is unique, that's how this system of communication in the past worked. This seal has to be unusual, it has to be unique, and it has to be easily recognizable, and it had to be something that only the king would possess. Now, in the modern times, maybe we're not using that kind of seal anymore, but we have many ways of authenticating things. These days of smartphones, we have Touch ID, we have Face ID. Even in artworks, modern artworks, the artist would still place their signature there. And it's a sign that this particular artwork was made by this particular artist. Of course, the whole artwork in itself, it already has some signature strokes, signature colors, signature shapes. But to make it very clear that this particular artwork belonged to this artist, or was made by this artist, then there's this artist signature. Products, they also have logos, and logos work in the same way. It has to be easily recognizable. So branding is very, very important. So if we acknowledge that God exists, God would use a similar system to authenticate his message. Because if God created the universe, he would communicate with his creation and he would authenticate his message. So specifically, miracles would be a powerful tool for the creator, for God, to authenticate his message to his creation. What are miracles? Miracles are unusual and unique, it's easily recognizable, and only God can do them, right? So it really matches the description of the ancient seals and the signatures that we use. If you will think about it, actually, the greatest miracle, one of the greatest miracles that not just theists but even atheists would have to acknowledge is the Big Bang. Now, look at this Oxford Dictionary definition of a miracle. It's an extraordinary and welcome event that is not explicable by nature or scientific laws. Now, this first part of the definition of miracles fits perfectly to the Big Bang, which happened 13.7 billion years ago. Because this is not explicable by natural or scientific laws. Scientific laws only existed after the Big Bang. But before the Big Bang, you can't explain it by nature. Nature only existed after the Big Bang. So there was a moment when there was no existence of anything. And then, if we continue this Oxford Dictionary definition of miracles, it says, and is therefore attributed to a divine agency. That's what miracles are. It is divine. It is not explicable by nature or scientific laws, and it is attributed to God. Now, the atheist Anthony Flew, well, this was before when he was an atheist, but when he was an atheist, he defined miracles like this. A miracle is something which would never have happened had nature, as it were, been left to its own devices. Leave nature to its own devices, miracle would never happen. Because what is miracles? Miracles are supernatural. It's beyond nature. If it's just nature, there won't be miracles. Miracles are supernatural, therefore attributed, according to Oxford, attributed to a divine agency. So we might say that natural laws describe what happens regularly. This is what we mentioned before when we were trying to understand the argument of David Hume. So we might say that natural laws describe what happens regularly, natural occurrences. Miracles, if they occur at all, which we know they can rationally occur, Miracles describe what happens rarely. It's a rare occurrence, it's a rare event. So here's the thing that we need to understand. So although miracles are rare and unusual events, not all unusual events are miracles. That is something that we will try to explore and understand for the rest of the week. We'll continue tomorrow.